The massive ship hung in the darkness of space. Its crystal-like surface gleamed against the backdrop of stars, reflecting light in strange, sharp angles. Inside the ship, Captain Jaewon Lee sat in his command chair, looking down at the blue and green planet below. Earth, a small planet, unremarkable. At least, that's what most believed. Hyun-Ki Park, the ship's science officer, worked quietly at his station. His fingers moved across holographic displays, gathering information about the planet and its inhabitants. Numbers and images flickered around him, each data point telling a story of what seemed to be a primitive species. "Captain," Hyun-Ki said, breaking the silence, "I've completed the initial scans of the human civilization." Jae-won turned his head. His eyes, deep and dark, reflected the soft blue light of the holographic screens. "And," Hyun-Ki cleared his throat, "they are exactly as we expected. Primitive, weak. Their technology is basic. Their space exploration is limited to a single moon landing and a few small robots sent to nearby planets." The captain nodded. Around their ship, other vessels from the Galactic Confederation waited. Most species had already made their judgments about humans. They were considered a curiosity at best, a potential problem at worst. But they were not considered a threat. Humans looked fragile. Their bodies were soft and pink. They had no natural armor, no energy shields, no extra limbs, no ability to breathe in different atmospheres. They seemed to break easily. A small injury could kill them. They needed special suits to survive in space. How could such a species survive? Jae-won remembered the reports. Humans lived on a planet with changing weather. Some places were freezing cold. Others were burning hot. They had survived ice ages. They had survived massive changes in their environment. But that meant nothing in the grand scheme of galactic civilizations. Or did it? "Show me their history," Jae-won commanded. Hyun-Ki's fingers danced across the display. Images appeared. Scenes of human conflict, scenes of human cooperation, scenes of human invention. Wars that destroyed entire regions. Technologies that changed their world in decades, not centuries. Machines that could think. Computers that could solve complex problems. Medicines that could cure diseases. But these were just local achievements. Nothing compared to galactic standards. "Their military technology is crude," Hyun-Ki continued. "Chemical explosives, metal projectiles, basic energy weapons that would be considered museum pieces in our civilization." Jae-won watched the images. Something caught his eye. A pattern he couldn't quite understand. Humans seemed to solve problems in ways no other species would consider. They didn't just adapt. They transformed. Where other species would give up, humans found a way. "Prepare for first contact protocols," Jae-won said quietly. Hyun-Ki looked surprised. "Sir, we haven't finished our complete analysis." "We have enough," the captain responded. Little did they know, their definition of enough would soon change dramatically. The ship moved closer to Earth, scanning, watching, waiting. First contact was about to begin, and nothing would be the same again. The meeting room was cold, too cold for comfort, but Elena Rodriguez didn't show any signs of being bothered by the temperature. She stood tall, her dark eyes scanning the alien representatives who sat around the massive circular table. Vortok, the Archean ambassador, was the largest creature in the room. His body looked like living crystal, with sharp edges that caught the light. He towered over the human delegation, his presence meant to be intimidating. It wasn't working. Humanity has been invited to discuss its potential integration into the Galactic Confederation. Vortok began. His voice was deep and seemed to vibrate through the room. "We have reviewed your species' capabilities." Elena didn't move. She didn't blink. The other alien representatives shifted in their seats. Most of them looked similar to Vortok. Beings made of hard materials, with multiple limbs and natural armor. They had evolved on harsh planets. They had survived impossible conditions. They saw themselves as the strongest species in the galaxy. And then there were the humans, soft-skinned, fragile-looking, no natural armor, no extra limbs, no ability to breathe in different atmospheres without special equipment. Your technological level is basic, Vortok continued. Your space exploration is limited. Your weapons are primitive. A small smile appeared on Alina's face, just for a moment. You misunderstand us, she said. Her voice was quiet, but something in her tone made the alien representative stop moving. Hyumki Park, sitting next to Alina, watched carefully. He was human, but he understood both sides. He knew what the aliens saw when they looked at humans. They saw weakness. They saw a species that could be easily crushed. What they didn't see was adaptability. Humans have survived on a planet with changing weather, Alina explained. We have lived through ice ages. We have survived in deserts, in forests, in mountains, in oceans. We adapt. Vortok laughed. It was not a kind sound. Adaptation is not strength. Real strength is having natural defenses, having multiple ways to survive without technology. Alina looked directly at him. Technology is our natural defense. The room went silent. Humans didn't have tough skin. They didn't have extra limbs. They didn't have natural energy shields, but they could create all of these things, and they could create them faster than any other species in the galaxy. Your weapons are chemical-based, another alien representative said. Our shields can block such primitive attacks. For now, Alina responded. Those two words hung in the air. For now. It was a promise, a warning, a hint of something the aliens could not yet understand. Humans were not weak. They were not fragile. They were something else entirely. And the galaxy was about to find out exactly what that meant. 10 years passed. The world changed faster than anyone expected. Seong-min Kim worked in her lab. Her fingers moved quickly over computer screens. Around her, machines blinked and hummed. Most people wouldn't understand what she was doing, but she was changing everything. Quantum entanglement communication, a technology that could send messages instantly across impossible distances. Other species took hundreds of years to develop such systems. Humans? They did it in months. In another part of the world, Yoonji Park was working on something equally important. Nanomedical systems that could heal almost anything. Tiny machines smaller than a human cell. They could repair damage, fight diseases, create new ways of healing. The Galactic Confederation watched, and they became worried. Humans didn't follow the rules other species followed. They didn't wait. They didn't slow down. They saw a problem, and they solved it. Fast, very fast. Take energy production, for example. While other species argued about clean energy for decades, humans developed multiple solutions in just a few years. Solar panels that were 10 times more efficient. Wind turbines that could work in any weather. Nuclear fusion reactors that were safe and clean. They didn't just improve technology. They reimagined it. Aerospace engineers created new materials. Materials that could change shape. Materials that could heal themselves. Materials that could adapt to different environments. Computers became smarter. Not just faster, smarter. Artificial intelligence moved from simple machines to complex systems that could think in ways no one expected. They didn't just follow rules. They created new rules. The alien species watching Earth started to get nervous. Humans were supposed to be weak, fragile, limited. But they were proving to be something else entirely. Every time the Galactic Confederation thought they understood humans, something new happened. A new invention, a new discovery, a new way of solving problems. Seong-min Kim looked up from her quantum communication network design. She smiled. Most people wouldn't understand what she had just created, but it would change everything. The universe was about to learn something important about humanity. Humans were not just survivors. They were inventors. They were dreamers. They were builders. and nothing would stop them. Mars colony looked quiet. Too quiet. Commander David Kim stood on the observation deck. His eyes scanned the red landscape. Something was wrong. He could feel it. The Zorn Collective thought Mars would be an easy target. They were wrong. Massive alien ships appeared suddenly. 17 capital ships, each one bigger than 10 human buildings. Their weapons could destroy entire cities in seconds. Their armor was supposed to be impossible to break. The Zorn didn't understand humans. They thought Mars was just another planet to take, another colony to destroy, another group of soft creatures to eliminate. David Kim didn't panic. He didn't run. He planned. Mars was not just a planet. It was a weapon waiting to be used. The first Zorn attack came fast. Energy beams cut through the thin Martian atmosphere. Massive landing ships prepared to drop soldiers. They expected no resistance. But humans had been preparing. The magnetic field of Mars became a weapon. David Kim's team had spent years studying the planet. They knew every rock, every piece of ground, every possible way to use the environment. Massive magnetic waves suddenly appeared. They disrupted the Zorn ship systems. Computers went crazy. Navigation failed. Weapons stopped working. The Zorn ships started to fall. Some crashed into the red dust. Others fell apart in the sky. Their advanced technology became useless against a planet that humans had slowly, carefully prepared. David watched carefully. His team worked quickly. They used radio signals. They used magnetic pulses. They used the planet itself as a giant weapon. The Zorn didn't understand something important about humans. Humans didn't need to be strong. They just needed to be smart. 17 capital ships entered the Mars system. 0 returned. 0 human lives were lost. The Galactic Confederation received the report. They couldn't believe it. How could a species they considered weak destroy such an advanced military force? David Kim sat in his command center. He didn't celebrate. He didn't show excitement. He just started planning for the next possible attack. Because humans were always planning, always preparing, always thinking. The universe was about to learn a hard lesson. Humans were not a species to be underestimated. The research center was quiet. Too quiet. Dr. Lisa Chen walked between computer screens. Each screen showed something different. Brain scans, emotional responses, adaptation patterns. Humans were different, very different. Other species had simple responses to problems. They had set ways of thinking, set ways of solving things. If something didn't work, they stopped. Humans didn't stop. When other species faced a problem, they saw a wall. Humans saw a challenge, a puzzle to solve. Take trauma, for example. Most species would break after a big problem, a massive attack, a huge loss. They would give up. They would stop trying. Humans transformed their pain into something else. A soldier loses a friend in battle. Instead of becoming sad and stopping, they create better protection systems. They design new technologies. They find ways to prevent the same thing from happening again. A scientist faces a failed experiment. Other species would quit. Humans would look at the failure, learn from it, make something new. The alien researchers watching humans couldn't understand this. How could a species turn bad things into good things so quickly? The Galactic Confederation had reports, thousands of them. Each report showed the same thing. Humans didn't just survive. They grew stronger from challenges. War didn't break them. It made them create better weapons. Disease didn't stop them. It made them develop better medicines. Environmental problems didn't defeat them. They created new technologies. Dr. Lisa Chen looked at another screen. Brain scans of human soldiers. People who had seen terrible things. Most species would be broken. These humans, they were planning, thinking, creating. Their brains didn't just heal. They'd rebuilt themselves. Stronger, faster, better. The screens around her showed something the galaxy didn't understand. Humans were not just a species. They were a force, a system that could change, a group that could adapt, and nothing would stop them. The Galactic Council chamber was huge. Hundreds of alien species sat in a massive circle. Bright lights showed every face, every creature, every representative. Dr. Elena Rodriguez walked to the center. Nobody moved. Nobody breathed. She carried a small device. It looked simple. Too simple. Most aliens thought it was just another human machine. They were wrong. "We are going to show you something," Elena said. Her voice was calm, clear. The device started to glow. Suddenly, the entire room changed. Holographic images appeared everywhere. Not just images, living systems, moving technologies, things that seemed impossible. Adaptive technologies that could change shape. Quantum computers that could think like living brains. Nanomachines that could rebuild entire ecosystems. The aliens watched. Some looked scared. Some looked confused. Some looked angry. Elena kept talking. "Humans don't just create technology," she explained. "We create living systems. Technologies that can change. Technologies that can grow. Technologies that can solve problems we haven't even discovered yet." The Vortok ambassador stood up. His crystal body seemed to shake. "This is impossible," he said. Elena smiled. One hologram showed a nanomachine entering a damaged human body. The machine moved. It found broken cells. It fixed them. It rebuilt tissue. In seconds, another hologram showed a computer system that could learn. Not just calculate. Learn. Think. Understand complex problems faster than any alien computer. The third hologram was the most surprising. An entire desert landscape. Dry. Dead. Then nanomachines entered. They changed the ground. They brought water. They created life. In minutes. The room went silent. Humans were not just a species. They were not just technology makers. They were world builders, problem solvers, creators of impossible things. The galaxy would never be the same. The space station was small, old, falling apart. Most species would have abandoned it, not humans. David Kim looked at the station's map. Different alien species lived here. Some were weak, some were strong. All were struggling. The Krell had lost their home planet. Their technology was broken. Their people were dying. The Vornaks had no resources. Their colonies were dying. The Blue Singers had lost their communication networks. Humans didn't just see problems. They saw opportunities to help. David's team arrived with 3 things. 1. Repair technologies. 2. Communication systems. 3. Hope. The Krell watched carefully. Humans were supposed to be selfish. They were supposed to care only about themselves. But humans did something different. They shared technologies. They helped rebuild. They created new solutions. The repair nanobots worked fast. They fixed broken machines. They rebuilt communication networks. They helped create new energy systems. The Krell leader watched David. She couldn't understand why humans would help. "Why are you doing this?" she asked. David looked at her. "Because someone helped us once," he said simply. Humans remembered who helped them, and they wanted to pass that help forward. Other species saw technology as a weapon. Humans saw it as a tool to help. The space station changed. Slowly, carefully. Broken systems became strong. Dying colonies came back to life. Hopeless situations became possible again. The Galactic Confederation watched. They expected humans to be a threat. Instead, humans became something else. Partners, helpers, problem solvers. The universe was changing, and humans were leading the way. Jae-Won Lee stood on the observation deck. Earth looked different now. Not just a planet, a promise. 10 years had passed since the first contact. 20 since the Mars battle. 30 since humans first reached out to the stars. The galaxy had changed. Humans were not what anyone expected. They were not warriors. They were not destroyers. They were builders. Other species now understood something important. Humans saw the universe differently. Where others saw limits, humans saw possibilities. Where others saw problems, humans saw challenges. Where others gave up, humans kept going. The technologies humans created changed everything. Healing systems that could rebuild entire bodies. Communication networks that connected distant worlds. Energy systems that could power entire planets. Terraforming technologies that could make dead worlds live. The Galactic Confederation, once afraid of humans, now worked with them. J1 remembered his first mission to Earth. How he thought humans were weak, fragile, simple. Now he knew the truth. Humans were not just a species. They were a force of nature, adaptable, unstoppable, unexpected. The universe was their playground, and they were just getting started.